Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a mother Mac addict. Bye. In a Menudo style or direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button thing. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I feel very appreciative and very humbled, man. Thank you so much. So, I've been seeing these videos made about the Big Tone incident, right? An AWACS incident that happened right here in Washington. And I recall doing a video when the incident first happened, and I know there was a homeless guy that got unhoused for reals, right? He got hit in the situation. Unfortunate situation, man. The opposition, whoever was allegedly, man, that decided for whatever reason they were going to pull up to the Big Tone concert and start tripping, right? They were going to do what they do. Now, this has been happening a lot. It's kind of like a trend. It's kind of like, we're going to fuck your shit up, shut it down. We don't want it here. We don't support you. It is what it is. And it's very unfortunate because Big Tone does have a big following in the Washington state. He does have a lot of fans. There is a big Norteño presence in Washington. That's a fact. From Yakima to Seattle to Vancouver to all of Washington state, there's definitely a big following for the Norteño movement. The Norteños are firmly established, as well as the Southsiders firmly established. So there is a lot of war. There's a lot of guerra, a lot of back and forth. It reminds me of Northern California, the upstaters and the Norteños, man, the back and forth, the hatred is there. And it always boggles my mind because me speaking from a perspective of being on the inside for so long and what's going on the inside in the California prison system, I know that there's, of course, an end to hostilities, and these guys are functioning on the yards, in some cases, actually functioning together against opposition. So it's always a trip, and that shows you the difference between the streets and prison. You could be all out war on the streets, going at it with North and South and your enemies and whatever, and then you have to go into the California prison system, and it's different. Now, the Washington system is very different. North and South still are not functioning together. They still don't get along. It's still on and cracking, right? So for these guys to pull up to Washington to do a concert, simply a concert, it's crazy what happened. Now, when I did my video on it a couple months ago when the shit happened, I believe it happened in Yakima, right? At a little pavilion type thing that they have. And I didn't really know the inside of what was going on, and what's getting hyped up and what's going viral, what people are tripping on, is this video that was took that actually showed behind the scenes of what happened when the shooting occurred, when people ran up, right? And from what I've seen on the video, man, I got to give respects to Big Tone. He handled this situation firmly and professionally, as a Norteño would, right? I didn't see him running around scared. It looked like he got up pretty much and was like, what's going on? He was more interested on, are the homies good? What's going on? You know, he was trying to get some answers. Whereas I seen other individuals, and I don't know who they are, that I guess they were with Tone, or they were in his entourage, or whatever the case may be. Some of them were falling and yelling and pushing and cussing and fumbling around. That's to be expected. I mean, when something like this occurs, you know, if you're not fully prepared, that's why they tell you, man, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, I heard a lot of things being said in that video, in that clip. There was about this, where's the AR? Grab this, do that. Was it more for just acting cool in front of the women, or was it really they were going to get off where they were mad at? That's the question. Now, again, man, I didn't see AWACS in the video too much. I have nothing bad to say about that guy. I know he rocks how he rocks, and he rocks with the Norteños to the fullest. You know, if you're with... It's like this, even if you're a Blood or a Crip or whatever, if you're rocking with somebody, you rock with them, no questions asked, right? And I'm sure they'd back his play, period. That's what it is. You see all these Norteño videos, man, and AWACS is always a fixture there. He's always there. Even though he's a sangre, he still rocks how and has a feeling towards the Norteño movement. And of course, man, he comes within a bond, you know, embrace those that are worthy of the cause. And I believe he's worthy. You know, he showed his dedication to the Norteño movement. Now, the people that are saying that the Norteños look scared, or that them vatos were ill prepared, they weren't ready for whatever, best believe, I'm sure they were, but I'm sure it did catch them by surprise. When you're doing a show, you're entertaining people, you know, and something happens outside of the show, it's very alarming and concerning, especially if you have fans, a fan base, like you want to know what the hell's going on. I don't think these guys were scared like, oh, these guys are coming in, they're going to murk us, or, you know, whip it out on us. I think it was more so they were trying to look like to push outside, whereas Tone and everyone was like, nah, bro, we need to stay composed, gathered. First, figure out what the fuck's going on here, Holmes, before we go out there and get caught up. You know, these type of incidences, and they've happened. You know, in the Santa Cruz incident with GB, and I believe it was Acito, we're going to perform and do a show, or it could have been Young Iggs, I think it was Acito, which are two Northern California rappers. Same type of thing happened outside. Vatos pulled up. Someone got stabbed in the line, and they shut the show down. Now, most of these rappers, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper that has all these gold chains, that's throwing all these hand signs, you know, everyone thinks, oh man, that's the lifestyle to live. It's intriguing. You know, even as a kid, I used to see LL Cool J with the ropes. I used to see Run DMC and all these different characters with the ropes, and the NWA had all the Raiders and Kings gear and gold chains. And I was like, damn, when I grow up, I want to be like that. You know, if you're living that life and you're involved in the gangster lifestyle, whether it be in gangs, selling dope, whatever, the game, right? These are the type of things that we look for and we want to be like, you know, or at least I did when I was a kid. You know, I don't speak for everyone. And I'll say this, when you realize that them chains are fake, when you realize that a motherfucker ain't in the streets, he's portraying gangster, but he's really not in the streets, because you're like, damn, oh, NWA dropped a new album, or damn, Tupac dropped a new album. Now, Tupac was a little different. He was in the streets like that. But all these different people, and you realize they ain't never getting incarcerated. Once you start going to jail all the time, once you're in prison walking the mainline yards, once you're in the county jail, once you're in the CYA system, then you start to realize, where the fuck are these dudes at? All these dudes that I looked up to and wanted to be like after this gangster rap, it's just talk. It's just rapping. They're out there like, I'm performing, motherfucker. Right? What's happening? And that's it. They ain't doing nothing wrong but putting it out there. But a lot of people think and aspire to be like this and don't realize that it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication to your craft, right? It's an art form, hip hop. And people don't understand that these guys don't have it like they're portraying they have it. A lot of them are actually broke. A lot of them don't have money. So these little performances at pavilions and whatever is how they make their dough. That's how they live. Okay, it used to be back in the days you could sell records and CDs and tapes and all that, underground CDs, $5 a pop. Man, I sell 100,000 out of my trunk like E40 used to do. It's not like that anymore. No one has CD players. Everyone could just go on YouTube and play the song for free. You know, these downloads off iTunes and all that, it sounds good, but they're not selling like they used to. So a lot of these rappers ain't got the bread like you think they got, right? So they rely on these performances. Now, I've said it before, gangster rap and being a real gang member is a thin line right there. Because there's a lot of dudes portraying the hype, tattoos all over the face trying to do that. They're not really in that lifestyle. They only know what they see or what they hear, so they run with it because that's what they know these kids and a lot of people want to see. Whereas you have dudes that are really in the streets, really active, really out there, functioning. I won't say active, but I'll say functioning in good standings on the streets. They are also rappers, and when they do these performances, these are the types of things that happen. So if you have real life opposition, if you have real life dudes that you've spoken on in your songs, you've disrespected, best believe they're waiting for the pull up. They're waiting for you to go there. That was kind of like the Atwater thing with Bozo, man, that whole fiasco that happened, right? And the performance ended up getting shut down. But just think, do you think that that performance, if motherfuckers would have went there in Northern California, in the Merced County area, where Norteños are deep, and there are Southsider presence like in A-Town and Winton, I know, right? But they're not even close to as thick as, say, Merced, Modesto, Stockton, and all the surrounding cities, right? What do you think would have happened? The same types of incidences. Because people are waiting for motherfuckers to pop up gang-related. That's why I said, if you're a gang member, man, you put yourself in a box if you're trying to be a rapper. You're regional. You're going to have fans, yes, out of your area. But anytime you try to go outside up to Northern California or Southern California, if you're a northern rapper, right? It's going to be a trouble. It's going to be something spunky, right? That's what they say, funky. It's always going to be that because people don't care about your rap music. They're trying to get off. They're trying to shut shit down. You're not welcome here is pretty much what they're trying to say. And you know, a place like Yakima, Washington, where Big Tone went, it's about half and half. There's a lot. I think there's more Northerners in that city than there are Southerners, but you know, somebody pulled up. And I'm not saying it was Southsiders that pulled up allegedly. It's just someone that wasn't in agreement with that concert decided to shoot them up, bang, bang. And the most unfortunate part is not that the concert got shut down, not that, you know, we see this video of a bunch of Northerners fucking trying to figure out what they're going to do. that somebody that was innocent, that was just right there on the street, is the one that got hurt. And that's what happens, man. It's always an innocent person, an innocent bystander that gets hurt. Someone that isn't even involved in that life, and it was just over there trying to pick up some cans, right? He gets hit, and no one focuses on that. They're more focused on this video of Big Tone and these guys fumbling around trying to figure things out. Oh, man, look. And there's a lot of dudes that are taking it that don't like Tone and don't like the Norteño presence there, that are saying, look at these fools. These fools are fucking weren't prepared. They weren't about that. It ain't about that. When shit pops off, shit pops off. Okay, north and south. There's always going to be a situation, right? Here's my take on it. And this is real. Why is someone even fucking recording it, bro? Why aren't you getting ready to get off? Obviously, the person that was recording it was right there, and he had the privilege of being in the background with these guys. So obviously, he was a homeboy. He was a homie, right? He was someone in that entourage. And instead of fucking pulling out the pistol and going out there and handling it, making it sizzle, this guy pulled out the iPhone and got to recording, and then waited a couple months to drop it. For what? To try to make your own friends look bad? To try to make your own people look like they're less than? I don't get that, I understand in this era, in this day and age, everyone reaches for the phone, But let me tell you something. For those that don't know, I'm going to talk about an incident that happened to me in 2021 where I pulled out the phone, man, and I had to go do prison time, go do jail time for it, okay? All because I pulled out the phone. In this era of pulling out the phone and getting a recording, now I understand. I see people on the streets. I see shit happen all the time. And I could whip out the phone and do shorts and benefit off that. But I don't, because I understand that there's repercussions, ramifications, and things that happen because of that. That's a form of dry snitching. That's a form of putting the incident on camera, man, that you're not involved in. So shut the fuck up and don't pull it out, right? But let me tell you, in 2021, the Cholo Trucker and myself, we had a fight in Southern California, and I had a rental car. And so if those of you that get rentals or whatever, I ain't going to drive my whip all the way over there, right, to LA from Washington. So I had the rental and whatever, right? I get back, and of course I call my canala like, hey, bring my whip. You got the keys to my whip. I left them with her, right? Come over here. I'm at the AM/PM gas station, whatever it may be. And I need you to pull up so I can fill this tank up. Because when you get a rental, you got to fill the tank up. You can't take it empty. You got to give it to where you got the gas was, right? So I had to fill the tank up and shit. So I'm like, we'll go over there, drop the fucking car off at the rental place at Enterprise or whatever. I'll jump in the whip. We did, right? So she's like, cool. So of course she pulls up. I'm putting gas. When she goes into the store to go get her whatever, I hear a big boom, like an explosion. And I'm like, what? And I look. Just in time to see a Honda Accord with a drunk driver. He hits the corner. There's a viejito. He's driving a truck with like a trailer bed with two of those latrines, like the outhouses, the fucking ones where you take a piss, right? Boom! Those go flying. His truck bed fucking flips. This old man hits his head on the windshield. He's all leaking. So I run over there, and of course, in this era, my first instinct, I'm a YouTuber, is pull out my camera, right? So I pull it out. I'm recording the old man, but I'm at the same time. The way I am, he's a Mexicano, right? I always try to help my people. So I'm like, first and foremost, are you all right? What's going on? And the poor viejito's all leaking. And he's like, he's shook, and he's like, I need my phone. I need to call my wife. So he's trying to look for his phone because everything flipped on him. And then I get angry because I see this viejito going through it. And the only thing he's worried about is his wife and letting her know that he's all right. And when I turn, I see this, I don't know if he was a black dude or Somalian or... He looked more African than African-American, if you understand me. You know what I mean? Couldn't barely speak English. So I dipped over and I see him and he's like got a smirk on his face and he's all drunk. And so I bring the camera out on him. I say, you done fucked up, right? On Paru, you done fucked up, right? And he's like, hey, bro, what the fuck you get the camera for? And me, I'm not thinking, I shouldn't have. Should have put it in my pocket and domed him, right? Just doop. But I'm like, man, fuck you, whatever, right? We get in a little argument and I'm like, well, you can get it, bro. You can get it. And he stands up and I hit him with the 4-piece extra crispy with a side order of barbecue sauce. Toma. Bop, 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 bop. Now, albeit he's faded, you know what I'm saying? But I gave him the 4-piece. Right? And so he falls down. I record this, right? This is what happens. I go back, run across the street to the car. People are gathering. They're all snatching that dude up or whatever. They're mad because he was drunk and he did this to this old man. So I jump in the whips. We jam. The Enterprise place is right down the street. We go down the street, drop the fucking thing off. And me like an idiot. The idiot I am. I want to see what's going on over there. So me and my sister bend the corner. We're in my whip this time, right? And I got the windows rolled down so you can kind of see my face because I got all tinted windows on all my shits, right? But the windows are rolled down, and as we're cruising by, I look and I see the vehicle with the ambulance, and they're tending to his things, and this dude's in handcuffs. And as soon as he sees me, we lock eyes, me and the guy, and the cops are right there. He's like, "Hey, that's the guy that assaulted me. That's the guy that assaulted me." I roll them windows up quick. I dropped in the seat like, "Fuck this motherfucker," right? And I was pushing. Well, they got my license plate, so he explained the whole assault thing, right? Still, I was thinking, they didn't see my license plate. I wasn't even tripping off that. Like, fuck that dude. So I dropped it on the short. Look, trying to be cool. Hey, look, I beat someone up, right? Whatever. Childish and not mature enough to understand, right? I was still early in my YouTube career, so I just thought anything is content. And sure enough, next day, I opened up my eyes, guns and badges, blue suits and white guys. Sounds kind of fucked up, but homie would have told you I'm living out my life as a YouTube soldier, right? They handcuffed me, boom, took me to county jail. The bail game was real. I'm out. And I get charged with an assault 3, not a felony, but a misdemeanor or whatever. And I fought it for a year, got the lawyer, went up with it, and it cost me a lot of money. And I ended up getting just a fucking 5-6 days in the county. I got 5 days in the county jail. 6 days actually, but I had time served for the one that I sat there before I bailed. So I had 5, so I had to go sit down in the county. Most miserable 5 days of my life. I say that to say this. All these incidences where you pull out cameras and all that, that's telling on yourself and telling on those around you. This guy that pulled out the camera right there and recorded the shit, and now somehow it dropped, and I don't know if he dropped it or he gave it to someone else. Now it's basically something that they're showing. And I understand, man, everybody wants to see drama. Everybody wants to, what happened behind the scenes? They want to feel like they're behind the scenes and they know people. But the fact is that it makes the Norteños look like they weren't prepared. Now, I won't say cowards or suckers, because Big Tone didn't look like that. Big Tone was up. He was in the middle trying to figure out, bro, what's happening? How the same way I would be when something's going on and people are screaming and like, what's going on? You need to know what's happening before you just pull out the fucking banger and get to banging, right? It's a concert. There's a lot of innocent people. Now, for those that go to these concerts, that want to just go and have a good time, you can't. And it's fucked up because this is the way they make their money, these rappers. The only way they really get money. Because they're not selling CDs pretty much anymore. So these performances are their livelihood. They need these, to get cashed out. That's why you see some of these guys performing at the Outback Steakhouse or in the Panda Express parking lot. You see vatos at car washes. You know what I mean? Any type of thing that's going on, they're trying to perform. I seen Lefty Gunplay at the Outback Steakhouse. There was 4 dudes, 1 chick, and hey baby. You know what I mean? That's who was there. Still, the fact of the matter is, this is the struggle that you go through if you're a rapper, and this is also the struggle you go through if you're a gang-related rapper. Because you always have it in the back of your mind, something could pop off. Someone could pull up. That's why I said either you're going to gangbang or you're going to rap, homie. If you try to do both, it ain't going to work out quite well for you. There's always going to be the next performance, and there's always going to be ops in that city waiting. Especially when, there's vatos that when it gets pushed out there and people know what's cracking, it gives them time to prepare. Like the incident that happened, the Little Rob incident in San Jose. The incident that happened, at the concert, in Stockton. The Little Rob concert in Stockton when the Norteños all pulled up deep and it was a big old melee between North and South. There's just situations where vatos are going to pull up and act the fool because they're gangbanging. They're like, hey, you're not going to be here, bro, representing whatever you're representing. And I'm sure it would be the same way if Northerners went to Southern California. It would be the same exact way. Now, there are some guys that are heavily respected, like Conejo that was able to pull up to Monterey County, do his concert with respect, no disrespecting, and was able to do his thing and get up out of there. But I'm sure he kept his eyes on swivel. I'm sure as being a factor or someone that knows what's up, that's done time with Norteños or just knows them, he was aware. Because a lot of people, they'll sit there and see that video and laugh, the one of Big Tone in them, right? And say, look, Norteños are suckers. They ain't really with the business. But as someone who's really been on a 4-yard or a 3-yard in prison, a real Southsider, a real Sureño, or a real Norteño, right? And you ask them about the other side, and it's going to be nothing but respectful words. And they're going to say, man, them vatos are the other side of the coin. They're just like us, homie. They're with the program, right? Both sides. The respect game is heavy when it comes to North and South. When it comes to raza, the respect game is heavy. Now, On YouTube and other places, there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of envy and jealousy. And you see it play out all the time. You see Vatos, Gunner's jealous of me, or Vatos fucking speaking on my name that I've never seen in my real life, and I probably never will see. But at the same time, hey, go ahead, bro. Hey, show business, mijo. Show business. I'll be able to take that and twist it and reverse it, is what I do. Anyway, so this whole Big Tone thing that happened, for those of you, let me recap it. It was a shooting, an incident at the concert. Vatos tried to run up or whatever. But obviously they hit the wrong target, so it didn't work out quite well for them. Now you have, unfortunately, a guy and a family grieving over an innocent man. And then, of course, they're going to snatch up the dude who did it. And bam, his family's going to be grieving. Unfortunate and didn't even need to happen. Didn't stop Big Tone's push. He's going to be in the next city performing, him and AWACS, and that's what they do. They're entertainers, man. They're rappers. But don't get it twisted, man. For the people that are like, oh, they weren't prepared. Do you think that's going to happen again? And for the guy that was dry snitching with the camera and then put it out there, man, I know he can't be trusted. You know, he's worse than the opposition. He's trying to tell on everybody. What if there would have been pistols behind the scenes? What if motherfuckers would have been pulling them out? Then everyone on that video would have been snatched up, man. It's unfortunate. With that being said, that's my take on that shit. I hope that you guys move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want. If you notice, I'm feeling myself right now. I'm low and slow. And the reason I am is because last night my tooth was hurt. I'm waking up with a toothache. Oh no, man. I was on these chicks so hard this weekend, man. It done cracked my tooth, right? I was in there before, like, bang, bang. Oh shit, my tooth done cracked, right? So I got the hole in the tooth. So I got a dentist appointment coming up. But until then, man, I'm trying to smack every Advil in the house, allegedly. So I'm like, this is the gun, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people, man. I think Big Tone carried himself righteous. The other dudes, so the essays are coming. The essays are coming. The gun.